I know you're tired. I know you're hurting. And I wish I could say something that was classy and inspirational.
You can do it!
But that just wouldn't be our style.
Welcome to Project Reclamation, where you rebuild, re-energize, and reclaim your life.
I started watching The Office, and I basically burned through it again. The Office is such a good show. Dwight Schrute kills me. Every single time. I don't think I ever liked him initially, and then I loved it. So funny.
He's the best.
Dwight K. Schrute. And then Kevin, Kevin actually is a lot funnier than you think.
He's pretty hilarious.
Kevin's
fat
like
guy?
the fat guy in the corner who hey Oscar, me want cookie.
That's Cookie Monster.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
right. Kevin and Cookie Monster.
You're close, but no cigar.
No. One cookie. Two cookie. Yeah.
But now Sesame Street has gone they've gone like healthy. It's like
Oh, I know.
cookies are a
Sesame
sometimes
Street.
street.
It's not like showing you how to make meth and pipe bombs anymore. It's like how to be healthy and.
It's like my name Cookie Monster. I eat kale. I love kale.
Gluten-free cookie. Get out of here, Cookie Monster. He's all
Gluten-free
skinny.
cookie. Ha ha ha.
He's
Me
just
want no sugar gluten-free cookie.
He's got a man bun. He's got a blue man bun now.
Me have diabetes.
Doctors say Cookie Monster pre-diabetic.
Yeah.
Pre-diabetic. That just means that your blood sugar is above
Doctors
2.
say they're going to have to cut off Cookie Monster foot.
Cookie Monster.
Just
Cookie
tell that's
Monster
okay
made
because
these
you're a
3
fucking
fingers.
Muppet. And you
Cookie Monster gonna have to wear diabetic socks.
Special sauce.
They don't make
Cookie Monster now
diabetic
will
socks in
fuck
Cookie
itself.
Monster color. Cookie Monster going to enjoy running around in a wheelchair though.
You probably. Like, hey, Cookie Monster, dude. People control you with sticks.
Uh-oh.
So yeah,
Hey
Cookie Monster
Tim,
couldn't
government
make it to
controls you
bathroom
with
enough time.
laws.
that's true. With what?
Nom 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 nom.
No.
What the fuck?
Yeah, this is a great tangent.
I'm really glad we got that on.
Oh, okay.
JB glad we got that on film.
JB got that on the record.
Nom 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 nom.
God, I miss Cookie Monster.
Oh, Cookie Monster had to resort to many.
Cookie
You know what
Monster
else I
miss you
miss?
too, Tim.
At Costco, dude, you used to be able to buy those fucking the Costco cookies. They come in 4 little stacks, and they had
Dude,
the
you
white
can still
chocolate
do
back.
that, bro.
You still
Yeah,
get
but
it.
I can't eat that.
Yeah, dude,
Well,
those
you
are
can eat like
nasty,
a quarter
bro.
of one.
I could eat as long as I don't have a day like I had yesterday. Fuck that.
What'd you have?
Yeah, well, just don't eat foam pellets and then drink a bunch of
God.
water.
Seriously,
What'd you have yesterday, bro?
I ate some beet chips.
Beets.
He ate
That sounds healthy.
dehydrated foods and then drank a bunch of
Dehydrated
water.
foods, and then I drank some water, and then it was like, "Bleh!" I didn't actually throw up, but I almost did.
Bro.
I got in the car to take Brett to China, and then
Oh, Brett's in China right now?
probably he's probably on his way.
Oh, no, he left.
He's probably China.
Did he go with his girlfriend?
No, he went with a couple of his buddies. So this is Brett's 4th international trip, I think.
Brett's making some money now.
The first time he went to England because he won a trip with KJEE.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, apparently.
That's pretty cool.
Then he went to Japan. Then he went.
He's
to
like the
Japan
only person
again.
I've ever known that's actually won a trip from a radio station.
I know, right? I didn't think that was real.
Brett still calls in.
Then he went to Japan again. Then he went to Thailand and some other country that starts with
While
an
he
M.
was over there? Or did he
And now he's going to China. So that's his 5th trip, and 4 of which are in Asian countries. Apparently, he likes Asian countries.
Yeah.
He kind of looks Asian.
Not really.
I
It's
think
just
he does.
when you are a little chubby, it squints your eyes. I used to have squinty eyes. Now I have big eyes.
Yeah.
Now I'm like
Now-
I went from
now you
I went
big
from
round
an Asian
eye.
person to an anime character.
Tim, I haven't meaning to talk to you. I think you have Graves' disease.
What is-
Pretty pot.
what does that mean?
It's where your eyes just get so reset, they bulge out.
He's like one of those squishy toys that you squeeze him and his ears and eyes pop out.
This is the delicious beverage. May I have another?
May I have another? What are you guys
Project
drinking? What's in your cups right now?
Steve is drinking. Well, we both finished our Jamba Juice. I just drank a Starbucks double shot coffee and protein drink.
Gadzooks,
Stop
dude.
name dropping our future sponsor to Project
What kind of
Reclamation.
Jamba
Sorry,
Juices did you get?
I just drank a.
Highly delicious, very nutritious.
What was the Starbuck was the second mate on the what what ship was it? The one where they Ahab? Which one was Ahab? He's the
Was
one
that,
the white whale,
Moby
right?
Dick?
Moby Dick. Starbuck
Love
was
Boat.
I don't know what. Well, so Starbuck was the first mate on whatever ship.
His name was really Starbuck?
Yeah,
Wasn't he a quarterback for the Dallas Cowboys too, Roger Starbuck?
That's right.
that
That's
was
right. That's him, all right.
Wasn't Roger Starbuck also on the Chargers?
Starbuck. And I'm telling you, you could throw a ball across quarter country mile.
Yeah, Starbuck was the first mate, but then I guess this little siren mermaid thing, clearly not Starbuck, because Starbuck was a dude, as far as I know.
As far as you know,
I don't think
could have been a tranny.
I don't think
Hell
they
if
let
I
women
know.
on boats back then.
Yeah, well,
No, it was bad luck, dude.
Yeah,
no,
you didn't have a
no,
woman
no
on
Va
ship.
China on the.
Which is funny because then there's all these fucking stories about these guys and the sirens or the what do they call the bird
Sirens.
chicks, the sirens. Yeah, they're always like luring the guys in with their boobs and their hair and their songs and the dudes come in, oh, I'm so fucking stupid because I have a penis.
That'll do it.
And then they all get killed. When if they just had one chick on board, it would have been game over because she'd be like, hey bitch, back off. I'm just saying. I'm all about,
Well, that's why they
I'm
never
all
gave
about
you a
empowering
ship.
women, but sometimes we need them to empower us.
Hey, time's up, man.
Or using them like a canary in a mine.
Yeah.
No, I'm just saying she would have
I'm
been
kidding.
She would have been impervious to the sirens bullshit. That's all I'm
now
saying.
hold on. If I know women, though, she
I don't know.
probably would've
Yeah,
been.
salty
She'd have been
sailor
like,
woman. She might have enjoyed the touch of a siren woman.
Yeah.
Okay, you
or
got to
she
make
might
sure at
have
least
been in
one of the women on
competition
there
with
is
them.
straight, so she's impervious to the fucking siren bullshit. God damn it, I fucking hate you guys.
Hey, man. We're just trying to lay it out, man. Trying to lay it out.
We're poking holes in
quit.
your
Fuck
shitty
this
logic,
shit.
Tim.
And welcome to Project Steveclamation. Tim has left.
Project Steve Claymation.
Finally, it is mine.
All right, Steve, go ahead and talk for an hour by yourself. Go.
I want to talk to you guys about Keanu Reeves.
We're not doing that yet.
Next, Jason Statham. Okay? It's about time. This is
Rodney
Asian Media Hour.
Dangerfield.
I want to talk to you guys about Jung Yoon Bak, famous Korean star, action movies, etc.
Actually, we're going to talk about bulgogi.
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 Hi, these are delicious. Oh, let's go. I got 6, 7 things.
I got these delicious overnight oats.
Overnight oats? What is that? What is that? Is that like a thing now?
So
Overnight
Sharon
oats?
just does it with like regular fucking oats. I found these like little cups. Basically, you just put like oats and some other stuff in like a mason jar, because I know you have mason jars because you're in the South and you people.
That's
are
right.
simple
That's
with
pretty
your
much
fucking
all we
mason
drink
jars.
out of is mason
You
jars.
drink out of them, you eat out of them, you make stuff, you make little fucking
Yeah, we
green
pee
bean
in them.
salads.
You
Because
transfer
we don't,
blood
we don't
out
have,
of them,
we don't
you
have
put
running
organs
water
in
here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you basically add some milk to the oats, and like this one has like some almonds in it and some.
Oh, so it's
coconut.
like cold oatmeal?
Yeah, pretty
Yeah,
much.
so you add it, and then you just go to sleep,
overnight.
and then you wake up, and then you have some cold oatmeal.
Whoa. That sounds kind of disgusting.
It's Quaker's way of just trying to reinvent themselves.
It's like
think
it's
it
like
works.
yogurt and oatmeal. It's like oatmeal.
Oatmeal.
Yogurt and oatmeal is good together.
Yeah, but like oatmeal that isn't made oatmeal, like oats.
All right.
Okay, so today, speaking
Well,
of
hold on.
overcoming adversity, the whole overnight oats is disgusting. So I would have to overcome that.
Bro, it looks like now. Here's what Quaker. I'm looking at this bottle thing right now. I'm looking at the packaging right now. They have sold it in a mason jar. Like on the outside labeling, it's in a mason jar.
Well, you're right.
There's like a little touch of spice of brown sugar on top, like 3 blueberries. You know what I mean?
No,
It makes
blueberries. Those are almonds.
they make it look like it's like
How are you
delicious.
mistaking blueberries and almonds?
My eyes are very squinty. And then so and like literally like and then yeah and then the whole packaging though is just like one big old plastic cup with like oatmeal in it.
Mm.
And you just
Sorry.
add milk.
Don't be sorry. Just
Fucking
own it.
Jack's.
Yeah,
I
you
wasn't-
should be sorry, Tim.
Really
I was,
sorry.
I was touching his.
No. You said what you said. All right.
Okay,
Get this recording going.
we are recording.
Let's get this. I want to get this episode going.
Steve's like, I need to get the hell out of here because I gotta go do some stuff.
I got 2 days off this week.
I gotta get my
Anything
smog
happen.
checked.
I get that smog checked.
Smile.
How old does your car have to be before you have to get it smog checked?
I think it's every other year.
I thought
Yeah,
it was
but-
like every year in California.
But it has to be a certain number of years old. Because like I haven't had to get mine smog checked.
I have a 2013.
Once it's a certain, it gets like the legacy thing, right? Like you don't have to do it because it's old.
Well, no, that's the other
No.
part. But the first part is a new car doesn't have to be smog checked for X number of years. I don't know how many X number. I don't know what X. I'd have to solve for X, guys. And
It's
I
like
don't
You would
know
have to
that.
solve for X.
If your car was above 1990, you pay extra $10. If it's above like 1970, you pay an extra $10 beyond.
How much do you guys pay for registration out there? It's been so long since I've lived in
250
California.
bucks.
Mine's
Damn.
$195.
Is that every year?
Yep.
Yeah.
Damn.
But it's a tax write-off though too.
Oh, joy, Steve.
Well,
That
but
Is
makes
it
more
though?
write-off.
so
Can you
much
still
better.
write that off in 2018?
No, not in 2018. But
Yeah.
hey, man,
The government just puts on that fucking rubber glove and just sticks its hand right up your ass and takes whatever they want out of you.
I was watching this
As long
show
as they
called
take the
Voyage,
night
Voice?
oats out of me.
The Voice.
The overnight oats.
Overnight Oats.
Hey, dude, those will help you stay regular, bro.
I don't need help staying regular.
Oh,
I'm like fucking extra regular.
Got you. Steve Rake.
Boom!
So, yeah, adversity, huh?
Steve
Speaking
Rake.
of overcoming adversity, the next time, yeah, we won't go there. Yeah, adversity,
Diversity.
overcoming it.
No, Steve. Well, I guess diversity could be adversity.
Is that like, and that's if diversity was an old wooden ship, adversity is like a steamer, right?
The little frigate that
A
goes right by
Cleveland
it.
steamer?
A frigate. It's a Cleveland steamer.
And good shout out to the Browns. It looks like they're doing some changes up in Cleveland.
Taking them to the Super Bowl.
Well, you're talking about poops.
Wow, the whole first like 8 minutes of this episode's talking about feces.
Wow.
Good old fecal.
You could say we're being feces-ish.
facetious.
We've already used that joke.
Facetious.
Have I?
Have I?
Not today.
Tim is moonlighting by doing a different podcast. I have a feeling he's two-timing us, boys. Hey, man.
That's
No, but
totally
I do
cool.
record all of our conversations.
Talking about two-timing adversity. We're just
Yeah.
we're gonna sink in anything we can.
So,
All right. So what's the most
I'm drinking this
adverse thing
delicious
you guys have been
Starbucks.
through?
Most adverse thing I've been through?
Yeah.
I would say,
I mean, you
Racial
don't have to like
discrimination?
spill your guts to the world if it's private and you don't want to talk about it.
there
but
was
the most,
two times in my life
Here we
when
go.
I faced huge adverse events.
There we go.
And I would say those two times are also the two times in my life that have led to the biggest changes in my life and the best results moving forward. The first one was a tangle with the law.
Oh.
yes.
I call it a wake-up call or call it a rock bottom experience or whatever you want. I think that the second one was, me losing my job and finding myself unemployed with a little bit of consultant work here and there. But that was another thing that was a huge catalyst for everything that we're doing this podcast for. I mean, that was the catalyst for me losing the weight and going and getting gastric bypass surgery and then losing a crap ton more weight. And, now Steve was marveling at my small shirt that I'm wearing today.
Yeah, dude.
You're
Yeah.
literally looking half the size that you were originally.
I'm not quite half the size.
You
but
ju-
I'm
Well,
saying-
saying visually.
It's
visually.
literally a third of the size though at this
third
point,
of
isn't
yeah,
the
it?
well, you know what? Let's do a little bit of math here.
Here we
I
go.
mean, it's almost exactly a third, isn't it?
Possibly. I don't know.
I don't see you on the regular, and that's planned. Like, I don't want to see
It's
you on the regular.
exactly 30.1%.
Wow.
Yeah. So I mean, just under a third.
You're right. Almost a third.
But, bro, you're looking good, dude.
So yeah, so I'm wearing my, and by the way, shout out to Sofa King Podcast. I'm wearing
Oh,
my
yeah.
FK Ultra shirt, and I believe JD's
so am I.
wearing
Yeah, dude.
the three guys on Sofa King Podcast. They talk a lot about conspiracy theories and historical figures and different stuff. If you guys
And make a lot of fart and dick jokes.
a lot of dick jokes. Awesome guys. We pretty much completely ripped off their format. We obviously, our content is quite a bit different, and I'm not ashamed of it. I love their format, and
Imitation
so,
is the sincerest form of
Yeah,
flattery.
it is. It is the most
flattery.
sincerest form of
Those
flattery.
three guys are great. And then when we needed some help, I reached out to, when we were trying to figure out how to host the podcast and all that, I reached out to Brent on Instagram, and he didn't know who the hell I was, but he got right back to me. He helped us out, and he walked us through it. And I mean, he claims that we just asked him basic questions, which is probably true. But no, he helped us out, and a few weeks later, we got 3 or 4 episodes on.
It was just cool that you could. I mean, he was accessible.
It was
like
very
that.
cool
It
that he was.
cool,
Yeah, he
and-
was extremely accessible. Those guys are great. So JB and I, we both joined their SK Ultra Club. So we got a bunch of stickers. I got some stickers that say Castle Times.
And there's this like
About
weird
fucking
El
time.
Yucateco thing that looks like the top of a Tic
Yeah,
Tac box. I
Brent
have no
or
idea what it
Brad,
is.
If you guys are listening to this, what the hell is that El Yucateco
It must
thing?
be some like revolutionary piece of technology
Maybe
that I am just
it's-
too stupid to know how to use. But it's like, yeah,
First I thought, I was like, is this like a flash drive? No. Is
I
it,
thought that too, and then I was like, oh, maybe it like fell out of the box, off of something into the thing that he sent the T-shirt to me. And
Wait,
I was
have you
like,
guys Googled what it could be?
I don't even know what to Google.
Where is it?
El Yucateco.
No, I mean,
Well, no,
El
El
Yucateco is a
Yucateco's
hot sauce. This
sauce.
is like this little tiny piece of plastic that slides open. It kind of, like I said, it reminds me of like the top of a Tic Tac box, sort of.
Does it fit on a El Yucateco bottle somehow?
Why
It
would
might.
that would be the ugliest looking
But then
bottle.
it's got like the sticky part.
Yeah, and I was like, maybe that's why I was like, well, maybe it fell off of something.
I
But
don't know what it is.
so Brent, if you ever listen to this, let us know, or maybe we'll proactively.
By the way,
ask
El
you.
Yucateco is a phenomenal hot sauce. It is a sponsor of Soda King podcast, and this is they pay me no money, but it's freaking delicious. And I just noticed the other day that they now carry it in a Ralph's, and that makes me extremely excited.
Oh, dude, there you go.
I gotta say, some of their flavors are extremely hot. I'm not.
I'm a
quite the
Chipotle
man.
guy. I'm kind of a wuss.
Chipotle is absolutely the
like
best shit
spicy
on
barbecue.
earth. It's like spicy barbecue sauce, but better. I don't know how to explain it. If you have like rice and beans, it's fucking awesome.
I put it on everything. I've tried it on
So
ice
I
cream
think we were
too.
talking about adversity.
Adversity is what happens when you eat too much El Yucateco.
There is definitely some adversity when you eat too much El Yucateco.
You have to overcome something.
You know what they say: hot in, hot out.
Yeah.
But and a little.
So okay, so getting back on track.
So-
here, Tim.
so my second
you
time-
you had
so
a brush
second
with the
time.
law.
Tim had a brush with the law, and then that's what forced Tim to get involved with all kinds of different. I was in college at the time, all kinds of different student organizations and committees, and I ended up being the executive vice. I ended up becoming elected executive vice president of a school of 36,000 people.
So after you got in trouble with the law, you went really super straight and narrow. You went almost
I
completely
just
the
started.
opposite.
I was like, I think I just looked at myself and I was like, what the hell am I doing with my life?
Tim
And
got scared
that's-
straight.
Scared straight.
Yeah, but I mean, scared straight would have been I just like cleaned up and like stopped doing stupid shit. But
No,
this
I
was
know,
more
I'm
like
kidding.
I'm like, dude, I'm better than this.
True.
I have to do good things.
Well, so it was
you
it was
know-
a change in perspective, really.
Absolutely. So that was
Yeah.
that, and then the second time was years later, 15 years later, no 15 whatever 16 years later. Yeah, I found myself at odds with the company, walked away, found myself, hey, I'm kind of unemployed here, but that's cool because that was the catalyst that gave me the wake up call, and it gave me the time to go, lose the 60 pounds I lost before I got my gastric bypass surgery.
Damn.
And then go through with getting that. And since then I've lost another 83 pounds. So, that was a catalyst to starting this podcast, which was a catalyst to the YouTube channel. And now hopefully, all goes well. And when we listen to this podcast in a few weeks, it'll be really interesting because I'm going to mention this, and I shouldn't because it's not evergreen, but this whole job thing that I'm going towards. So fingers crossed, say a prayer. Oh wait, Steve says we're not
Prayers
allowed
are
to talk
being
about that.
said.
Yeah.
Regardless, yes,
We
huge
talk about
catalyst.
things.
Some of the biggest adversity I've faced. Now, I mean, these were things that I most likely, definitely in the first case, not so much in the second case, but these are things I totally did to myself that caused me to have
Well,
these
I
wake-up
don't
calls.
think.
But
Yeah, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how you got into those. It's the the adverse effects of that.
Yeah. Well, I'm just saying.
well, yeah, but I mean, so that's my story. JB, what's the biggest adversity you've ever faced?
Well, recently some job stuff, but I think the toughest thing that I've ever had to deal with was losing my dad. That was a tough one, and I know people lose, fathers, mothers, brothers, in the grand scheme of things, it's not the worst thing that's ever happened, but when it happens to you, it's pretty tough. When my folks got divorced, I had custody. He got custody of me, so I lived with him, and he was kind of this Marlboro man kind of figure. Yeah. Well, he wasn't a cigarette ad.
Wait, he wasn't in a cigarette ad? Dude, he didn't even smoke, did he?
He did for a while,
But not
a long time ago.
He had already stopped smoking when I met him in what?
Oh yeah. He hadn't. I don't think he smoked the entire
There
time
is some
I was
really
alive.
cool old pictures though that you used to have.
Yeah.
That your dad literally fucking literally to a T looks like the Marlboro Man. Like he's wearing some Western getup. He's in
the
like a
picture you're
duster.
talking about is my dad was a horseshoer, a farrier, or blacksmith. And he the picture that you guys are talking about, he took a red hot horseshoe out of the forge and lit a cigarette with it.
Possibly one of the most badass things I've ever.
No, but it's like the most iconic photo of Clark that I've ever seen in my life to this day.
Well,
like,
and
that's how
if you've
I'll
ever been
remember.
near molten hot metal,
Which I am near
the
around all the
radiant
time.
heat is almost
Dude, that's what I was
unbearable.
gonna say,
So
like, how
putting
the
that
hell,
up to your
like-
face, he was just like, "Oh, let's do this," and I guess they tried it, and that was the picture they used.
Not
I think it was some
smartest-
Canadian cigarette company.
Not the smartest thing he's ever done.
No, but
however,
most
it did
badass
make-
people don't do smart things. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and to my group of friends, he was the dad that he was kind of. I guess you call him the cool dad. I mean, your dad's super cool too, but he was the one that when we were kind of getting into that age where we'd start doing some bad things. He's like, well, you know what? Come over to the house if you're gonna do things that aren't super kosher or legal.
You might
At
as
least
well
do
do
it
it
here
here
in the
with me.
backyard
So
where
that-
it can be
Boys, hide those
supervised,
money
yeah.
bags. Hide those ink-stained
Exactly.
money bags in here. And he would open
Exactly.
up this drop box in the middle of the ground.
You can go wash the blood off upstairs in the bathroom.
know.
Yeah.
He's like, just put all the tools, put all your weapons in this case. I'll get rid of them.
Yeah. I'll bury the evidence. Yeah, in the canyon. No. So losing him was extremely difficult, and I was on a bus at the time, coming home from Knoxville, and got the call and all that. Yada yada. I don't need to go through that, but moving forward from that, it was I don't know. Life just kind of happens, and I don't really know. I mean, my support system, my now wife, and her family were extremely supportive of me, and nurturing, and it's tough, so I guess you just kind of take every day as it comes, and it never really gets easier. You just kind of get used to it. But I think that's probably the most adversity I've come through, which I feel pretty fortunate about, the fact that if that's the toughest thing so far, then I'm doing pretty good.
All right. So the JB years is obviously an example of something that you did not have control over or do yourself. But yeah, I mean, adversity can be hard, but you got to overcome it. And I think that, with your dad, you could have just, I don't know, curled up in a corner and cried, or, you could.
Oh, I'm sure you did that.
I'm sure you did. And
Well,
I
yeah,
think
but I mean, I could have
everyone
gotten depressed, and I mean,
But
not
I think
tried,
that
and
I think that JB knew, and maybe I'm overstepping my bounds here, but I mean, Clark was the type of person who, he wanted us. We all knew very well that he wanted to have a party after he died,
yeah.
not a funeral.
oh yeah,
He did not want to be. He wanted us to remember his life and live for. I mean, that was his thing. He was a guy who lived to live, and I think that on some level, JB, you had to know that your dad would not want you to mourn and be sad and all that.
Oh,
shit.
hell
That
no.
Your dad would want you to move forward and use the lessons that he taught you and everything, that to go be the best fucking JB you can be. And I
yeah.
think you've done that.
He really was the life of the party, though, man. Because I'm going to tell you this, Jables, and I've probably told you this too. Like, I went down to like Zoto's, man. Like
dude.
one Sunday during football Sunday, man. And I'm telling you, Zoto's in that bar area, you can fit like probably 200 people in that area. And I remembered he was wearing it was like during like football season. He was wearing his football jersey. He was
Yeah,
with his
49ers.
wife. Yeah, and he was wearing his Alex Smith football jersey, and I remember he was just like, he was rallying the troops. Like, I don't even know if there were any other 49er fans in there, but he made everyone a 49er fan that day.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And trust me, he was always the life of the party, man. I'm telling
So
you.
here's an example of being the life of the party. So I moved to Nashville in 2005, and my dad and stepmom didn't end up coming out visiting until like 2010. So this was 8 years ago. My now wife and I went and kind of partied with them. You know, they were there for a couple days. It took us a week to recover, like from just
From Hurricane Clark?
They did it like seasoned partiers.
Like I said, Zoto's, I think, solely existed for their
Oh yeah, absolutely. The Galleon Room.
or at
yeah.
Orchid Bowl.
Yeah.
Orchid Bowl is Galleon Room.
Yeah, Clark was he was a goddamn
Well, and so he was a horseshoer, and that's extremely physical work. You know, I mean, he's in the Horseshoeing Hall of Fame at Churchill Downs in Kentucky. Like that's the level of horseshoer that he was. I mean, you want to talk about the quintessential work hard, play hard. That was my dad.
Before we even existed, actually. When my mom was a kid, she had horses.
Oh.
Oh yeah, that's
and
right.
Clark and Wanda shoed my mom's horses.
Yeah, my mom is a licensed farrier as well.
Mhm. Well, yeah, your mom and your dad started the business together, right?
Yeah, they my dad met my mom at the Santa Claus Lane. There was like a cafe down there. She was a waitress and he was a truck driver. They got together and they were at home one day and they saw a commercial on TV for the Oklahoma Farriers College, in like Tulsa or something like that. So they both wanted to be farriers, horseshoers. No, I mean they went out there for however long the class was or the course was, and then moved back to California. Yeah.
Man, think about that. You like realize you're in a go nowhere situation, or maybe you need to better yourself.
Well, and that's what I kind of took, you know, that sort of go-gettedness, bullheadedness that my dad exhibited, you know, in no shortage. Moving out after he passed was like, what the hell would he do now? You know, I mean, yeah, you're gonna be sad, you're gonna do all that, but you gotta take that. It's like, you know, you kind of try and harness that grief and sadness, and you metastasize it into something more positive.
Well, I think you've metastasized this into something more positive for
I don't
sure.
know why I don't know why I just used
I
that
don't know
word.
why you used a cancer term for.
I was like, hey, man, I'm flowing with it, though. That's what it is, man.
So yeah, and because
It's
of
like
that, you
one
know,
roll
we made
improv. You
those
gotta
sweet
flow with this.
bracelets that say WWCD.
What would Clark do?
What would Clark do?
Yeah.
Thanks, Steve.
Well, you know, I just had to figure
Way
it
to be
out.
quick this morning.
I was like,
What would Chucky do?
What would Chucky do? Man,
What would Cornelius do?
what would
Is this a Fight Club reference? What's going on here?
which way Chowder?
He would
What?
put his face
Disasters?
between Bob's bitch tits and cry.
Bob had bitch tits.
That's awesome, though, bro. Because think
Yeah.
about this. Like, honestly, I felt like you're carving your own path. Like, I don't even know about you. When I think about adversity with you, Jables, I'm not gonna lie to you. You are like one of my only friends that has actually like pursued their dream, like the ultimate dream upon dreams. Like you wanted to be a country music legend. You know, you wanted to make your own music. You wanted to create your own sound. You wanted to team up with, and you know, team up with other people to kind of create your own professional artistry. You know, and so
Yeah.
you moved out to the place that you could do it at. You know, you moved out to Nashville. You say goodbye to Santa Barbara. You say goodbye to what's it called?
Paradise.
Gilbert, Arizona. You were like, later, Arizona, I'm gone. And I
Like
mean,
later,
think about that.
Arpaio and
I know.
Tennessee.
You're all
Okay.
later 122 degree summers. I'm out. And so, dude, you actually chased it. You didn't know it. I don't think you knew anybody in Nashville.
I did
mean,
not.
You didn't even know cold weather. Now that I think about it, you didn't even
No,
know
but-
anything under 40 degrees.
But
Yeah, I
now
know. Being
JB
from
is a
California,
national
it was like,
legend. I mean, he has some pseudonyms you might recognize him under.
Yeah. Harry Dickwalder.
Sometimes he goes by Chris Stapleton.
Yeah. Here I went with like
hairy pair of testicles.
Harry.
Wow. Hello, guys. We've reached a new low today.
Hey,
No.
guys.
This is our new medium. This is,
Oh.
this,
went
this is
from-
where we're right on the. This is homeostasis for us. You know,
Yeah.
slightly.
Shout out to King Podcast.
we're like the little brother.
Yes.
Oh god. No, think about it, man. You want to talk about adversity? I can't even imagine all the bullshit that you had to go through about learning a new city, like not knowing a single person like that,
So-
grinding away in a community or in like an artistry like form that really is quite cutthroat. And dude, you never gave up. And in fact, you're still there, you know?
Well, yeah, and then when you got you got exposed to that gamma radiation, and
Yeah,
and then you
bit by
started
that
getting angry
spider.
and turning green, or maybe it was a spider. I don't know.
I got bit by the spider.
And you got those magical bracelets that blocked all sorts of stuff.
That was how I got to where I'm at. I got bit by a spider, and then I just stick to the ceiling in rooms where
Wow.
certain information is being given.
Do you kiss your wife
I'm
upside down
basically
and stuff?
the chubby guy on the wall.
So has your weight affected your ability to stick to surfaces? Is my question.
No, I just eat more sugar, and the substance, the web.
Oh, the
Gets a little
sugar
stickier.
makes the web
The web
stickier.
goos.
That's
Yeah, I
interesting.
walk that taut tensile line between healthy and diabetic, but because then when you get diabetes, all of the all
That
of the
waveform of
stuff
me
dries
laughing
up.
looked really cool.
I'm telling you, I think the most alarming part is that in your costume, your belly sticks out at the bottom a little bit, man. I've been trying to tell you that. Dude.
Yeah,
There's nothing wrong with that though. I mean, that's Joe every guy.
You need to sew a little extra fabric on there. maybe.
I've got plumber's crack in the front.
Spider Jables.
Plumbers-
Spider
Spider
they call
Jables, Spider Jables falls off the ceiling and breaks the tables.
Look out down below. It's
Look out
Spider
down below,
Jables.
it's Spider
Hey, man.
Jables.
Hold on there, perpetrator.
Jamie thwarts criminals just by eating an extra jelly roll, and then he falls off the side of the building and lands on the criminal that's created.
And then I like shoot this like snotty web stuff at them. They're just like gross. Oh, okay, take me to jail.
Yep.
Yeah.
Jamie just he just webs them into submission.
When he
Yeah.
swings from the web, he kind of bottoms out, but dude, it's just it's still a cool affect, bro. It still looks good.
Yeah.
There you go. So
That's
Steven
adversity.
Chang.
Yeah, Steve, brother.
Steven
What's,
Chang, you
what
were
would
just
you call?
you were just commending JB on his ability to get involved in communities and all that stuff.
Bro, I'm
And
telling
you've done
you.
that a few times, but I
You've
don't
done
know
that,
if that would be
more than a few times.
I don't
bro.
know if that would be your
Really?
ultimate adversity that you've overcome. So why don't you pick one of those? Pick whatever that is and tell us.
All
about
of the times I've moved, I'm going to tell you the truth. All of the times I've moved, it's usually because of school. So that's kind of like, it's always under the guise of, hey, we're starting school. I got to go through orientation. I'm going to meet some friends. Don't worry. I'm going to be just fine. But I think, honestly, one of the biggest things about, and I always say this, like men need to work, and it's good to have a job. And I don't always want to just talk about work, and I don't want to always be the biggest adversity between all three of us or something like that to be about work. But I will tell you, I had to start over career-wise when I was younger. I was a little too cocky. I was a little too arrogant. And so I left a job, and then I left a job in 2008, and then bam, the bond market crashed out, and I could not get a job. I had a college education from a great university. I could not get a job to save my life. And I remembered burning through my savings, you know, kind of being a little bit arrogant about it, kind of being a little stupid about it. But I just burned out through my savings. I traveled. And then when it was time for me to go get back to work, I remembered no one would hire me. No one would hire me. And even with a college degree and work experience, I remembered not being able to like get a job anywhere. And so I ended up getting a job. And I always give a shout out to Mojo Coffee, but I had to go back home and moving back in with my parents, and then I had to get a coffee
Santa
job.
Barbara.
Yeah, dude. I went from LA to Santa Barbara, and I remembered having to get a coffee job, and I was working with a bunch of high schoolers and a bunch of kids that were going through college, which is just fine. But I remembered being like, holy crap. It's that feeling of I'm above this, and this is still below me. And I remembered one of the greatest things I had to do is kind of get over that feeling. Hey, man, a job is a job, and so long as you're working, you're contributing, like that's great. But still, it was kind of how do you just get my life back on track? And I think that was like the hardest thing in the world for me to kind of overcome. And as well as like getting over the embarrassment of having too much pride and yeah, kind of being stuck in a going over a job and feeling like the work that you're doing is below you, or you could do better, you could be more than what you are doing. But unfortunately, it just wasn't the case, and no one was like hiring, and no one was doing anything. So, yeah, man, it was a tough time.
Did you work at Gladiator Valley Athletic Club during that time?
I did work at Gladiator Valley Athletic Club at that time. Holy crap, JB's tossed me back.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what it was?
The only reason I bring that up is because I also worked there.
Dude, Gladiator Valley
few years
Athletic
before
Club.
you did.
Also
But
give a shout out to GVAC. I will tell you this:
GVAC.
how it was is that I used to open up the coffee shop in the morning, so I'd have to wake up at 4 a.m. and they were in 4-hour shifts. So by 8:30, I was already back at home, and then I would take like a quick nap and then get ready to go to like Santa Barbara City College. And I think all of it. No, you never went to Santa Barbara City College, Tim, for any straw?
I went to Santa Barbara City College a couple times during the summer, and I think senior year of high school, I had a class or two there.
didn't we
we're
all
all
take
veterans.
astronomy or something like that in high school?
I never took
I
astronomy.
might have. I don't know. I took a bunch of classes that I think I went into college at San Diego State with like 18 units or something.
That's pretty good.
Oh, I fucked it up later. Don't worry. Like I started ahead and then somehow I ended up
That's pretty good.
slightly behind, and then I somehow ended up kind of where I should have been plus a year. You know, because everyone's on the 5-year plan. It's
The 5-year plan is like a common thing with California State
well.
schools.
Here's the thing with college. I mean, and I ended up with a decent GPA and I learned a lot in my classes, but part of college, and I think maybe even more than the classes, is just the life experience.
Oh, well, you were part of a fraternity, a very, very
Yeah, I was part of a
nationally
fraternity. I
known
mean,
and successful fraternity.
I got involved in developing a criminal record and also student
Hey,
government.
that's life experience, though. You know,
That's
there's
life
people who
experience.
will never.
See, I did. I
come through that
and, you
like
know,
you did.
and don't worry, my record's clean now. I didn't do anything that was too bad, but
Expunged.
I believe the proper term is expunged.
hopefully my future employers never listen to this podcast. But yeah, I think it's the experience, and I think that it a little bit is overcoming adversity, because a lot of times it's the first time you've been out on your own. It's the first time you've done a lot of stuff, and it kind of teaches you a lot about who you are and kind of setbacks and making some mistakes, but how to overcome those mistakes.
Well,
Because
and I want to
you
kind of
don't
lay.
have.
Sorry, keep
What?
going. I'm sorry.
Go on,
Oh, I was
lay it
gonna
on
say,
thick, bro.
you don't have the comfort of being in that hometown that you grew up in, where maybe JB and I would get pulled over all the time because of our horrible redneck trucks that we drove in high school.
Next.
But being in Santa Barbara, we knew a lot of the police officers and a lot of the sheriffs.
We went
So, I
on
mean, half the
ride-alongs,
time-
you know.
We went on ride-alongs, yeah, actually.
They'll
But see,
pull you
looking
over
back,
and
we
you go
did it
right
because
on a
we thought it was fun. But I mean, looking back, like that actually helped us get out of some stuff that, I mean, nothing too bad, but yeah, just like it was we were preparing for the future, you see.
Well, and I want to say here too. I want to kind of lay the gauntlet down. Like, we're saying adversity, and people are gonna be like, "Oh, that's." I mean, you guys, whatever. Everybody's kind of gone through that stuff. It's totally relative. And that's kind of where we're at with this whole motivation thing. It's like, I know there's going to be a huge scale of experiences with people, and there's going to be, oh, this is not that crazy, and this is super crazy. But, like I said, it's relative. So we just want to put out there that, adversity is what you feel.
Absolutely.
You
And
know?
we're not claiming that we've gone through,
No.
like, JB lost a parent. How many people lose parents? People lose parents
Everybody
all the time.
will
Everyone
eventually
does.
lose a
Eventually,
parent,
Yes, everyone will. But how many people lose parents at, how old were you? Like, what did you say,
30.
29, 30?
Yeah.
So, I mean, how many people lose parents at 30? You're probably in the minority on that one. But I mean, there's people who lose parents when they're 12 to horrible car accident. I mean, and we're not saying that our adversity is even that great, but we're also not saying that if you feel any adversity at all, maybe you're just sad and there's not really a reason. That's adversity.
Basically don't compare it to
Don't compare it.
something else.
But
If you
But we're
feel it,
also
that's
not
what you
trying
feel.
to say
Deal
that
with
our
it.
adversity is paramount or anything. I mean, there is tons.
Yeah.
I have not had an extremely adverse life, and half of my adversity I put on myself.
Yeah,
And
we're all very fortunate people. and
yes,
very,
very much
blessed.
so. And we hope that we can connect with some of you guys who have had some serious adversity. And if there's somebody who's had something terrible that we can't even fathom, I would love to have you on the podcast and talk about it, because I know there's other people that you could reach out to that have had similar things. But for any of you who haven't experienced a ton of adversity, or if you're experiencing some adversity right now, yeah, you don't have to compare it to anybody's. I mean, if you're facing adversity, face it and use it. But don't think that because yours isn't as bad as somebody else's that somehow makes yours less of an adversity. I mean,
It's really easy to get caught up in the, oh my gosh, just, the emotional turmoil of seeing the things on the news and being like, well, my life's not as bad as theirs.
turn off
so
the news,
mine doesn't
mute
matter.
half the people on
it
your
does.
social media feeds. Of course, your life matters and your adversity matters. And if it's something that's a struggle to you, then that's a legitimate struggle.
Yeah,
Nobody else
exactly.
has to validate that or confirm that. I mean,
This has taken me a long time to come to fruition too on this. It's like, I was the one that compared. It was like, oh well, you know what, he's lost a limb, or or that they have never met their parents. It's like that's terrible, but at the same time, I can't compare that because
Well, no, and like I
then
can't
I'll just bury
compare
it and
to-
I'll be a ticking time bomb of emotion.
Well, yeah, because then you're like, oh, well, I can't complain about this. You can complain for 5 minutes and then use it and learn something and move
exactly.
on.
It is about perspective.
And
though.
just think about, what would Clark do? I'm sort of kidding, but not really. I mean, Clark would have wanted all of us to make the best of our situations and to live every moment of our lives. And I mean, in that respect, I'm dedicating this podcast, this episode to Clark Beckstead.
Nice.
But, well, I love your dad. He was an amazing.
Well, and
person.
amazing.
Yesterday was 7 years since he died. So that's crazy.
Yesterday was
seriously?
Clark's 7th death day.
Birthday.
That sounds morbid, but you guys would really have to understand Clark. Like Clark would want us to think it that way. Like,
And we're not even. It's like of the highest respect.
oh, I absolutely love Clark. Clark was the closest
pour a gin
thing
and
to a-
tonic, and watch some football.
Pour a gin and tonic, find a stolen Zima, and watch some football.
Zima.
And I say that because JB and I used to steal Clark's Zimas.
Oh, yeah.
And we used to drink Clark's alcohol and replace it with water, which is funny because he would have just said drink the alcohol and don't bother replacing it with water.
You guys were young kids. It was
we
it
were
was sixth grade, and it was a long time.
We
ago.
were very stupid. But any adversity you have is legitimate. If you feel it's adversity, then it's legitimate. I mean, JB and I don't have a whole lot to complain about. We grew up white middle class males. Steve is a minority. I don't know if you consider that. Has it ever been an adversity in your life, dude?
I don't
mean,
know.
this is a good question.
Well,
Have you ever felt that being a Chinese American person
was ever
Yeah,
an
I'm
adverse
just-
situation?
I'm just asking.
Amazingly enough, I did when I was in college for the first time taking Asian American Studies course, because that's when I actually realized all the social pressures.
That's when you realize
and all
that you're
the
only
social-
Asian by heritage. And
No,
you,
dude, it was.
you're not Asian
It's
in
crazy,
any other way.
man. When I first went to college, I was like, oh, I'm a little kid. I was a kid from Santa Barbara, and I went to UCSB for my first 2 years, and I was like, oh, cool, And then I took a class on Asian studies, and then bam, that's when you realize how hard Asian people had it in America.
Yeah,
and,
they pretty much
what their
built the railroad system
Yeah, dude,
in
and
North
how
America.
bad their
And
perspective
they
was.
were essentially slaves at the time.
Yeah,
You don't know
absolutely.
this growing up in you don't know this going to Galita Valley Junior High.
Well,
What
and-
class did what class did Mr. Whoever teach us that? It's like no.
Well,
one
and then
taught
you
that.
have the whole World War II thing with the Japanese.
Yeah, when they were in
And then-
internment camps in the West.
I mean, I'm not trying to make this a political discussion, and I'm not stereotyping any nationalities, on purpose here, but I just the Asian culture is a very proud culture, and I mean,
very proud. And,
there's not a
all
lot of
them.
complaining. They have plenty to complain about. I don't know. It's very interesting that you growing up, you didn't. You're like, oh, it's cool, man. Like my relatives might have been slave railroad workers.
I think
but-
what it is, it's not even a matter of cultural identity. I didn't have any cultural identity, and I think that's I think it was not impossible. But how many Asian families were there that even went to our high school?
Well, I mean,
There's
you're
probably
Asian,
4.
like you said, you're Asian by heritage. I mean,
No, there's Asian.
Well, and
I-
you're
I
at
have
a
German and Italian
transitional
heritage.
generation too.
but I don't really. I mean, I love my German family. I still have a bunch of family in Germany, but I don't necessarily. I don't necessarily study the plight of the Germans.
No, for sure.
I mean, my grandpa, before he died, he had some super cool stories about growing up in Nazi Germany, and when my grandma told me that she was in Hitler's youth, I thought that was pretty interesting.
Everyone was in Hitler's youth, though,
what?
right? Wasn't everyone in Hitler's
Yes,
youth?
everyone was in Hitler's youth. It was kind of like
Wasn't it the
but it
ruling-
sounds,
Yeah, you
it
couldn't
sounds a
escape
lot
that.
more detrimental than it really is. No, Hitler's youth was kind of like a mandatory Boys and Girl Scouts
Yeah.
for it actually, from what she said, it wasn't necessarily, it was like it was part of school. They taught them a lot of survival skills and stuff that's actually useful. But yeah, it didn't.
It was just
didn't-
under the guise of the
there was
worst.
no real. I mean, they may have
person
veiled some propaganda in it,
ever.
but there was, from what she remembers, there was no There was no Nazi propaganda going on with the youth. It was just called Hitler's Youth.
And we
But
don't need to get
all
into
I'm
that,
saying is I think all three of us have just kind of always identified as American kids from Santa Barbara, despite
Yeah.
our
And never are we saying anything positive about Hitler at all. But short of the long is that if you ask me the question, when did I ever realize? I was in college and I was 18 years old, and I took an Asian American Studies course, and I realized I learned a few things. I learned that Asian people, and I'm just saying this specifically to me. Asian people had a hard time in America, and Asian people still have a hard time in America today being represented or having no representation, either in the political game or the entertainment game or the media game, or any game, really. And it's nice to see every now and then to see a positive Asian American actor, or even sportscaster, or even news writer, or even author, or anybody that has like somewhat of an influence. And that's kind of the daily adversity that I kind of see every single day, is that how do you get out of this role of an invisible race, an invisible sect of people that actually is strong and influential. And that's like the hardest part. But yeah, on a daily basis, shoot. That's what I go through.
No, I mean, and that's something that neither Tim or I can understand. You know, I mean, you
absolutely.
can
But it
you can
also is
describe it
about-
to us, but we really don't know the deep-seated feelings that brings up. You know,
and that's
also
why I asked, because it's something that I've never been able to experience. And just like I was listening to one of our older podcasts, and Steve was talking about how he couldn't write a book about losing a bunch of weight, without my perspective. And I mean, from that's the same, the other side of that coin. I can't tell you what it's like to be
Grow up a
anything other
minority,
than who I am,
Yeah.
and the
everybody's
heritage
got
that
their
I am.
own story, and
And Steve's story is not defined nor predilected by the fact that he has, a certain heritage.
no, not at all. It's just a part of his story. Yeah,
Yeah, it's a lot about perspective. Like, when I didn't
it's all
know
perspective.
It's all perspective. When I didn't know anything before I went to college, I was like, just hum-de-dum-de-dum. I'm a man. I'm a boy. I'm a kid. I'm a whatever. But I just, male, female, like that's how I saw myself. And then I was a male from Santa Barbara, and like that was my point of pride, and that was my point of understanding about who I was, right? And then you go and you expand your horizons, and you learn more about the world in which you live in, and maybe it has a positive effect on you, and maybe it makes you more steadfast in your beliefs, or maybe it opens up your horizons, and ignorance is not bliss, ignorance is bliss, and the more you learn, the more you're troubled with what's around you, and maybe that was what happened to me. So it is about perspective. It is about how you kind of frame up what your struggles are and how you're actually going to tackle them. Because the funniest part is, I'm going to tell you guys, is that I work with a young lady. She has 3 kids. She's a single mom. She has to drive in an hour every single day to work. And then that's not her biggest struggle, though. That sounds like a terrible hurdle, or an insurmountable hurdle to have to go through every single day. And also, just like I said, being a mom is tough. Being a parent is tough. Let alone working this job is tough, or working any job is tough. But her biggest struggle, and I swear, is that she's trying to go back to school. And I'm like, oh my gosh, like I would think that would be the easiest thing, because as long as you do the assignments, that's just it. But that's her biggest struggle. Maybe she has confidence in herself, or confidence issues in her academic capabilities. And it's literally all about perspective, because that's not your biggest fight. Your biggest fight is making sure you raise those 3 kids, is making sure you're home in enough time to cook dinner.
Yeah, but
It's
don't
like,
you think that being able, first of all, I think when you go back to school, and Steve, you would know this better than some people, but I mean, when you go to college, I feel like a lot of times it's just something that you should do. So you're not always so focused on your studies per se.
True.
But when you go back to school, especially if you're footing the bill, I mean, that's a whole different ballgame. Correct?
That's a good
Well,
perspective, because I
and
didn't even think about that.
yeah.
But also, you add what you said, she had 3 kids.
Yeah.
You add, going to school and taking it seriously because you're footing the bill and it's something that you're trying to do to better yourself. And you add on to that, oh, by the way, having 3 kids, JB, you have 1 and 1 on the way. I mean, I don't know. I have 2 fur kids. And I mean, shit.
One of them is just a beast.
One of them is a beast. By the way, we just got the results back from his little skin cancer scare thing, and he's cancer free. It's the worst.
Nice.
He still has a bunch of stitches.
Jack's
on his
the
nose.
dog is
Jack's the
cancer
dog.
free.
He's cancer free. So, hooray for that. But, dude, having 3 kids is a full-time job. Plus, she has a job.
And
Well,
plus
and
she's
it
gonna
Plus,
really
she's going to go back
goes
to
to show-
school.
Goes to show her motivation. It's like this weird Tetris.
So she's definitely
she's got 3
motivated to
kids
go
that she wants to
beyond all
raise.
adversity.
She's got to take money away from that to pay for something that'll hopefully make her money later. She's investing. But to do that, she's also got to drive an hour to work every day.
Yeah.
Which Steve, you see as like, oh my gosh, that would be a challenge. Where she probably sees the fact that she has that job and is able to get there as a huge blessing. You know, like you said, it's all about perspective.
Well, and I mean,
It is all about perspective.
She's got her 3 kids. She's got her job. I mean, those things are things that she's good at.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Things that she knows. They're comfortable. This is the outside the comfort zone part of her life now is that school. And again, like, you know, if she's footing the bill and she's doing it to better herself, I'm sure she wants to do well. I'm sure she doesn't want to get B minuses.
Well, and it was funny when I was at City College and stuff like that. I used to always see and respect the older students because I knew that they were there for a specific reason. It wasn't like, oh, this is just what you do after high school. You know,
Right.
They were
And
like, you know what,
also,
I'm here for a purpose.
You also
and
knew that
and
they
always did
probably had to
well.
go home after class and cook dinner for their family and
Or
and
even
go to
if
their night
maybe
job.
maybe not even that. Maybe it was just like that you just knew that they were there because they were trying to better themselves, or they were there on a path to, you know, get a better job or learn something actually, you know.
Community college is great because you literally get the full gamut. You get a 17-year-old kid fresh out of high school, doesn't know what they want to do, and then you get that 45-year-old, like, you know, single mom trying to recreate her career after a divorce. You know what I mean? Like, you literally get that whole gamut, and you're like, okay, that's where I felt like it did a.
Well, and Santa Barbara City College was so great because half of the professors were UCSB professors.
Yeah, probably. I don't
They
Yeah, so
were.
you're getting the same professors for a tenth of the cost.
Yeah, exactly. No, I mean, like literally, I think a
No, for
third
sure.
of the professors I had there also taught at UCSB.
I will tell you, like, for adversity is like what drives you, right? And I feel like every single time, if you really, really look hard enough, you can see like some of the stuff that you thought was like the stuff that was driving you, like, oh, maybe your adverse situation is like, I don't have enough friends, or I don't have enough stuff to do, or I don't have a good social life, like I'm scared, you know, I don't know the city, and you're like, you can create adversity through anything, and that's kind of what drives you, propels you to get better, or do different things, or be better. And I think that's such a huge kind of topic, whatever it is that, like, you know, is challenging to you, you know, is in your way. I mean, my gosh, you can make it into a positive. It's all about perspective. You can make it into something that's successful in your life. You can easily make it a turnaround story, or, you know, one of those a come to fruition, like, good tale stories, you know.
Well, and it's a glass half full kind of thing. You know, you can look at it either way, like you said, perspective, or, you know, like we were talking about in the previous episode about, you know, just smiling. You can frown and your body will act accordingly, or you can smile and your body will act accordingly.
Yeah.
I think you can look at a situation and you can say, oh, this is an adverse situation, or you can be like, oh, you know what? I can learn from this and use this as motivation to not ever be in this situation again. You know, again, we keep coming back to this. It's all perspective, and
It's
the
all
way in which you
perspective,
use it. Yeah, it's all
And it's all
perspective.
perception.
Perception.
Wow. I feel like I'm in that
perspection.
Leonardo DiCaprio. Wait, Leonardo
Perspection.
DiCaprio movie?
Inception.
Perspiration.
Ah.
Odoriferous, olfactorous emancipations.
But I mean, I also think that, you know, it's that adversity when handled correctly is what builds character.
It's
Yeah,
a
of
growth
course.
opportunity that happens.
It's always a
in
growth
life.
opportunity. And I think that I almost feel sorry for people that have no adversity. And it's not that I wish I had more adversity, but
Maybe that's the adversity, is having no adversity.
the adversity is having no adversity. But I mean, you know, it's these, I mean, all the people that we look at, you know, The Rock, for example, like his adversity was like his dream of going to the NFL was totally crushed by an injury. And then, you know, his spot got taken by Warren Sapp and he ended up not even going to the pros. And then he got, you know, accepted to the CF, whatever. So, I mean, all these people, you look at someone like Nick Vujicic, like he's born with no arms and no legs. Like that's something that I probably would have never overcome, but he did. You know, you look at someone like Noah Galloway, he went off to war and came back with, you know, minus one arm and no leg and one leg. And that dude is, you know, he went on Dancing with the Stars and he does all this cool stuff for veterans returning home. And I mean, it's people who have that adversity that take it and overcome it and learn from it. You know,
Well, because they're
like,
facing forward.
exactly.
They're looking to the future. They're not looking in the past.
And it's like one of my favorite quotes is, you know, you win, you lose, you learn.
Yeah.
And I mean, I think it's a very extreme example of losing, but I mean, no matter what we're doing, like the adversity, I mean, there's all these, you know, you go look up Abraham Lincoln, you'll see that he failed like thousands and thousands of times. and you look at someone like Colonel Sanders, if he was in fact a real person, apparently he had this great recipe for chicken. And I think it was 1,000 times people told him no, like, we don't want your recipe.
want
on
your
the
31
1,004th
spices.
time or whatever, 1,001st time, someone said, you know what, this is delicious. Let's do this. And I mean, at any point in time, whether your adversity is a giant life event, like the loss of a loved one or a car accident or, you know, a loss of a limb or something, or if it's just, you know, the 999th failure of something you were trying to do, then it's something that, you know, you need to overcome. And if you do overcome it, then, you know, you can, I mean, there's a Michael Jordan quote where he outlines all of, like, I've missed X number of game-winning shots, and I've lost this many games for the team, and I've failed here, and I failed here, and I failed here, and that's why I succeed.
That is why I succeed. Oh, I've
Well,
had that as a
and
poster.
like you said, you win, you lose, you learn.
Exactly.
If you look at learning as winning, you never lose.
And that's the final part of that quote. If you win, you win. If you lose, you learn. Either way, you win.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
I mean, it's that quote from Gladiator: to fall is to fall is to grow, to stay down is to quit,
yeah.
or to stay down is to fail, something like that.
we butchered you, Gladiator.
We butchered Gladiator. I'm sorry.
Thank you, Russell
What is your
Crowe.
name?
Even though
Russell
your Oscar,
Crowe. And
even though your
who's
Oscar
the-
award-winning
Who's
performance.
the guy?
Thaddeus?
Who's
What was his
who's
name in
the director?
Ridley Scott.
Ridley
Ridley
Scott.
Scott.
Yeah, Ridley Scott. So Ridley Scott and Russell Crowe, we apologize.
I
We
will
do
tell
love
you guys
both.
this,
Our
though.
script writers,
Honestly,
we
His name was
apologize.
Maximus Decimus Merideus Aurelius. No, not
There you
Aurelius. Was it Maximus? Aurelius
I think
was
It
Marcus
was
Aurelius.
Maximus.
Oh,
Maximus Decimus Merideus. Maybe that's it. I just remember that one line where he's like, "My name is Maximus Decimus Merideus.
wow.
And they're like,
Father
God
to
bless
a father to a murdered child, and I will have my vengeance in this life or the next."
Wow. Not like Tim. Tim has that tattoo across his chest.
I do.
He does.
I don't know why you didn't memorize that quote.
In
It's on
in
you.
Latin.
I know, in Latin.
Yes.
E pluribus.
He's got-
Maximus
E pluribus
Decimus.
He had it written in Australian.
it was just, which is just English with like some pictures of kangaroos.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly.
And like
big,
a great white
big
shark.
spiders and
like,
great white sharks.
Yes,
And like a
1,000 ways to
didgeridoo.
die. Welcome to Australia.
Oh my god. I will tell you guys this. As I get older, I find there's very, very few days where I have a challenge. It's almost like it's like program life, go to work, go, you know, just
Steve's just
go
so
home.
good at life. You can't
I'm
challenge
just so
him.
good. No, either I just don't. I mean, unfortunately, I have such a. Some days it's a boring life, quote unquote. Now that doesn't mean it won't change, or that doesn't mean something won't happen, even today, or even a minute from now. But I will tell you this: and with all those, with all adverse situations, they are opportunities to grow. My God, they are opportunities to grow. So if you think about it and you welcome that, and if you say, oh, if something comes up in the way, or there's a roadblock in the way, say thank you. Oh my gosh, this is a huge time. This is a huge moment for me to like, or for you, or for anybody that's facing it, to say, wow, what am I going to get from this situation? What am I going to learn about myself? What am I going to learn about my situations? What am I going to learn about my capabilities? What am I going to be able to do after this? And that's
It does come down to learning and
Exactly.
and having and gaining tools.
It's a huge
You can look at
opportunity.
it like, you know, life is a construction job, and you need tools to be able to erect the building. And
You
as
said
life comes at you, I did. Boner.
Sorry, dude.
Beavis?
You were on a good run. I'm so sorry.
It's all good.
Wow. This is
We have
adversity. This is
derailed.
JB's moment of adversity, where he has to overcome Tim's
JB's
terrible.
biggest adversity is having Tim as a friend.
Pretty much.
That's both of ours, JB. That's both of ours.
You guys, a common struggle. Common enemy can
with
be
face
a
enemy.
strong binder.
We didn't know the killer was inside the house. We didn't know he was our best friend. We didn't know that our
So I'm
adversity
sorry,
was one
JB.
of
You
our
were talking about the construction site, erecting a building.
It was kind of stupid, but if you look at
No,
life
man.
as always learning, you know, you always need to learn, and that's just kind of a basic, you know,
It's the
skill.
opportunity, man, to learn. You don't.
Yeah,
get
you
very,
have
very
the
few
opportunity to
opportunities
learn. You are not. We are, most of us do not. We have all our basic necessities. We have more than we need. So we have the opportunity and the privilege to look at life as a learning experience. And if we don't, that's that in itself is you're losing.
You're
you
cheating
know,
yourself.
You're cheating yourself. We have every opportunity to make life better.
And you have more opportunities today to learn than ever before. I mean, for not only can you learn from all your
Thanks,
experiences,
Google.
and damn it, you should. But I mean, JB and I, we always talk about the University of YouTube or YouTube
Oh,
University. And I mean, you can do anything right now. I mean, if you want to learn how to juggle, watch a YouTube video. You can learn how to juggle. I mean, I have learned, JB and I have learned so many things about using Premiere and editing audio and editing all sorts of things. I mean, just like my Sofa King thing, like earlier, I mean, how 10 years ago or 20 years, I remember when I was a kid, we got these books and they had all these different addresses for celebrities. You could write them. And at that point, I was like, "Oh, Michael Jordan, I want to." It was some book, and I'm sure it was like a PO box, dude. I'm sure the letter didn't even come from the celebrity. Oh, dude, it was so cool. And I would write letters, like literally handwritten letters to these celebrities, and say, "I really liked your movie," or "I really love I love the Bulls. Like I like watching you guys on TV. I saw you, down in LA when you played the Clippers or whatever it was." And they would send you back like a little letter. And I mean, some of them would send you back jack shit, but whatever. F you, whoever didn't answer me when I was a kid. I'm just kidding. I know you're busy. But a lot of them, they'd send you back,
Tom Cruise.
they'd send you back like an 8.5 by 11 photo, like signed. Like it was super cool.
Jonathan Taylor Thomas will send you something. I promise you.
Is he still alive?
Yeah.
JTT,
Tim.
man.
That's your back tattoo. Okay? You have a chest piece, you have a back tattoo.
Little did Tim know he hasn't seen his back in 5 years.
It's right above the Tiger Beat, the old Tiger Beat logo.
It's Kirk Cameron and GTT.
Where was it going? Oh, so 20 years ago, 10 years ago, I mean, when have we ever had the ability to, like, we like this podcast? I literally looked the guy up on Instagram. I was already following, but I sent him a random message on Instagram and he got back to us and told us like, oh, here's what you need to do to start your podcast. I mean, we have more access to information and we talk about the negatives of social media, but there's so many positives too. I mean, the access to information, the access to people.
Is
I mean, you could literally send a message to anybody.
Knowledge was like literally at your fingertips. Like you would go to the library and like, look up the book. That was like your fingertips back.
Yeah, we had to
were, like,
learn the
up.
Dewey Decimal
Now-
System
yeah.
or whatever.
Now it's like literally at your fingertips with Google or like on your phone. And it is crazy.
Twitter.
Like Encyclopedia Britannica used to be where you got the source of like everything. Like,
It's
you go to
Encyclopedia.
Encyclopedia. Thanks.
Sorry,
It's Ted
shout
Mosby.
out to.
But no,
exactly.
I know. But here's what it is, though, man.
Hey, he's got a new show. My sister
He
was
does
watching
have a
it
new
yesterday.
show. Thank
Yeah.
God. I'm glad he landed on his feet.
I just don't know if I could ever watch him and see him as anyone other than Ted Mosby.
Good old
Mosby's Designs.
I can't.
What's his
Mosbius.
Mosbius. But like that's what it is. It's like we do live in a crazy time right now where Google, like anything you can think of, you can look it up. Even all the hate stuff, you can still look that up. Even all the love stuff, you got it. Everything is like right there at your fingertips. It's an amazing thing. So do something. I mean, you don't have to say, "Oh, well, woe is me" anymore. You don't have to be rolled over by adversity. You can literally find ways to change it.
Well, and even like you can say, you can find people who are sharing your exact
Exactly.
scenario
like
and
Project
talk with them.
Reclamation.
Exactly. And you
Crazy.
can talk with us. You can email us at projectxreclamation@gmail.com.
Ooh, that's a good way.
Or-
to say, what's the name of that? What was
That's
the name
Project X
Say that again, Tim.
At projectxreclamation@gmail.com.
Wow.
Or you can go to our website where you can listen to our podcast. I believe you can leave us a message. I'm not really sure how that works. But I am not a web designer. So if you don't like the website, tell me that. But then if you could give me like some suggestions, that would be way more awesome.
Don't
than
complain
just
unless
telling
you
me
have
that I suck.
a way to improve it.
No,
Thank
but just,
you.
just
if you're
tell
going
us
to
something.
provide a problem, then at least provide a solution as
And
well.
if you don't think of a solution, then you give us the opportunity through adversity to come up with a solution.
or
to help
create
you
some
out.
adversity for us to overcome. That's
There it is.
fine.
Or we can
too.
just send you poorly worded letters.
And yes, you can send us one star reviews if we can send you poorly worded letters on our poorly formed website.
Well, wait, we'll take that 1-star review because that means we're getting out there.
That
We're
means
getting
someone's
out there.
listening.
There's no
That's
such thing as bad
amazing.
press.
There is no such thing.
Hey,
as
you
bad
know what?
press.
Every time they run my name down, my stock just goes up.
Every time a bell rings, an angel gets his wings. What?
That's what I heard,
Yeah.
and I heard that. Never mind. Where was I going with all this?
Project X Reclamation.
Oh yeah,
We're
you can
circling
go on
the drain
there.
at this point,
We are
so.
circling the drain at this point. But if you go on Project Reclamation, if you go to the contact page, and maybe I'll put it on the front page too, just because. But you can get all our contact information too. But I think where we were going with this was to reach out. I mean, you have more access to us, more access to people in general. I mean, I'm sure there's podcast. I mean, like Sofa King, for example, is a podcast that has way more listeners than we do. We reached out to them; they helped us. You can reach out to them. You can reach out to us. There's people who want to help, and there's just so many things you can learn. I mean, JB and I've learned a ton of stuff on YouTube. Steve learns a ton of stuff on YouTube. I mean, JB and I was trying to figure out how to do a zoom in effect on a video because I got the opportunity to make a commercial for a friend of mine because he sells this rangefinder, and JB and I have been working on that. And I was trying to do a zoom effect and zoom into something and then come out of something else, and it sounded really cool in my head, but I didn't know how to do it. I watched a couple of YouTube videos and then I did it. And I think JB would maybe agree that it looked kind of cool when I was done with it.
Yeah, it was great. I mean, shoot, I saved probably $2,000. I got my drone pilot's license, and there's
Wait,
programs
is that
you
through
can.
the FAA?
So wait, JB, you're
is
saying
from-
you're a licensed drone pilot through
Wait,
the FAA?
Wait, is that through the Federal Air Administration?
Is that what it stands
Aviation
for?
Administration?
Yeah. Dicks.
Man, I'm just telling you, wow.
What I
that's
was
pretty
saying
impressive.
though is that I saved $2,000 by just watching YouTube videos and going and taking it.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie to you. That's very important. I don't have a drone. So I feel out of the loop with this one. I'll literally start my camera on my phone and throw it up in the air. Is
There
it the
you
same
go.
thing?
It's the same thing.
Is that
Just tie some helium balloons to it, and you'll have a drone.
wait? But how will I be able to get? I mean, I guess you could as long as you put it on a string.
Yeah. Well, then
You're able to
you
kinda
tie
tie
the
it back
balloons
in.
to your phone and the string, and then you have a pellet gun. And when it gets too high, you just shoot the balloons, and it comes back down.
Then you shoot it back down. Obviously,
Yeah.
everyone knows that.
It's super
That's the way
safe.
to do it. Damn. Ugh. I love this. I love adversity.
Yeah.
I love adversity. Even
It's an
diversity. that wooden ship.
old steam ship.
That old steam ship. Don't you love anger, man? Anyways,
Yeah.
that's what it is. That's what we're about. I'm excited. Please let us know. Please mail us. Please talk with us. Please communicate with
Just
us.
reach out. Reach out to us. Don't hesitate.
projectreclamation@gmail.com.
Even if it's just to say we suck, because then you're still
Follow us.
reaching out, and we know that you're in
Yes.
an adverse time because
Yes.
you're being
and,
negative.
Follow us on the Instagram.
Well, and I mean,
You're good
we
enough.
we
You're
love,
strong enough.
We
and
love
God
press,
dang it.
period. I mean, Sofa King gave us a shout out, and Brent said, I'd like to give a shout out to blah, blah, blah. And Brad's like, fuck them. And I loved it. Thanks, Brad.
Mhm.
Thanks, Brett. You guys are awesome.
Dave, don't leave out Dave.
Dave,
Dave's
sorry,
awesome.
Dave. Well, I mean, I was only talking about the two that said something about us, but I do love Dave. I mean, he's the teacher. How could you not love Dave?
Yeah, I like
so now-
listening to him talk.
He does have a phenomenal voice.
Yeah, he's like
crushes. Man crush.
kind of reminds me of like James Earl Jones Jr.
James Earl Jones Jr. That's a lot of J's.
Jedger.
It's pardon the alliteration.
No, but thank you for not having a lot of P's in your name, because my P's don't sound so good. There are a lot of plosives
Yeah,
in
my
P's.
peas smell like asparagus.
Wow.
Junior
I'm
high.
going to find a quote, so go ahead and just kill some time, JB.
All right, so
It's JB.
there
Here's what
once
we're gonna
was a
do.
man from Nantucket.
JB, I
so-
brought in a very, very special guest with us today. This is
Did
very,
you?
very nice. He's been listening to the podcast the whole time.
What's his
And I
name?
just wanted to say, it's Canadian Steve. Canadian Steve.
Hey guys, just want to thank you for being here.
Canadian Steve, that's awesome. So,
Thank you again for saying I'm awesome.
hey, Canadian Steve, you're infringing on my time right now.
I'm so sorry. I was gonna go to Tim Hortons and I want to make sure I got you some crawlers and maybe a hot cup of
That's
coffee.
very, very nice of you.
And I was
Tim
gonna have a
Hortons
nice little
coffee
day.
is amazing, by the
Very
way.
nice of you.
Yeah.
Hey, get out of here. It's Canadian Steve time.
Thank you for saying so because it's Canadian. I'm Canadian and I love you, man. To Canadians.
What's your favorite hockey team? Who's your favorite hockey player of all time?
the Canucks.
Oh, look, the Canucks, man.
I love the Canucks. You know why? Because Canuck is like a word for Canadian, and I'm Canadian. So so we go
never
down
mind
to
those Montreal Canadians.
Yeah.
That's them. They're all about the Vancouver Canucks.
I know. It's it is what it is. And I went down to Canadian Tire to get some snow boots.
Canadian Tire.
Yeah.
God. Hey,
And,
how's your poutine skills?
Yeah, my poutine skills are on point, man.
I see that you have
thank you for
plate of
bringing that up, by
poutine
the way.
fries right here in front of you.
Yeah.
God,
the
just
poutine fries are
fries
so good.
drenched in gravy.
It's all about the gravy and the cheese curds.
Now,
You got to get the curds when they're a little bit squishy. And you can't make the
squishy
gravy too
curds,
salty.
man,
And then you got to
I'm
put some cat soup on it.
Cat soup.
Just to round out the flavors and stuff. Don't laugh. It's
Oh,
funny.
man.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to make it.
Oh yeah, you should be sorry. Now explain your outfit to us. I see that you're wearing
Right now
some
I'm wearing some jeans that I got on sale from Canada Tire.
Okay.
And then I have an awesome Levi's denim shirt on.
Oh wow, the Canadian tuxedo is what we call it down here.
Well, yeah, it's just kind of what we wear because it's so sensible and practical.
Absolutely.
And that denim, with that cross stitching.
You did
yeah.
the dark denim on top, I see, and the lighter denim on bottom.
Well,
which
yeah,
is-
but just
which
because
is-
I've worn the jeans more, they were the same color when I bought them. And then I got my Canada Tire snow boots and
Canada
my denim Dan. Denim Dan. You got that stuck in my head. I'm sorry.
JB,
my
get out of
Ford-
here. We're
my
talking to
Ford
Canadian Steven right now.
Dakota Dan. Dakota Dan hat.
Oh, wow.
Is that one of those hats where it like covers your ears? It has the little ear flaps?
You know, like Uncle Buck.
Dude, Uncle
yeah,
John
that's-
Candy, rest in peace.
And you know what my
He's,
favorite
no,
part
he's a
is?
Canadian too.
Yeah,
Is he really?
Canadian. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's from Toronto. He was half owner of the Toronto Argonauts. Hey, man, what I love
Toronto.
about this is that you actually attach one of those raccoon tails to the end of your hat, though. I thought that was
Oh,
a great
well, yeah.
touch, man.
But
Did you steal that raccoon? Was it digging around in your trash?
with my truck.
Oh, okay. Is that because it was a trash panda?
I don't quite follow you there. I'm sorry.
Oh,
it's a
raccoons are.
it's a lower 50. It's a
Here in
lower
the
50 thing.
States, we call raccoons trash pandas or
It's a
garbage
lower
pandas.
48 thing. It's a lower 48.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, then, yeah, he was a trash panda.
Oh, man. Hey, man.
All right.
Get
So-
your maple syrup out of here. Get your maple syrup drink on out of here.
So,
We gotta
I'll
get
see
off
you
the
guys later.
podcast.
Thank you for having me stop by. I love you guys.
No
Yeah,
problem.
thanks, Canadian
Thanks,
Steve.
Canadian Steve. Is that
Oh,
Canadian
man.
Steve? Or is
That was Canadian Steve.
Canadian
all right.
Justin.
You know what? No. Justin's already been taken. That's a prime minister
okay.
up there. Yeah. We had to go with
But Steve hasn't been taken.
All right,
Steve
sorry
is
guys.
not
I
a
just
J.
went to the
All right.
bathroom. Is everything cool?
Oh, JB. Hey,
Yeah, what's up, JB?
Dude, JB, you missed Canadian Steve.
You missed
It's very
Canadian
sad.
Steve.
Oh, dude, I love.
So, all
Canadian
right,
Steve
guys. So,
nice.
on this episode, I couldn't pick one quote, so I have like four.
All
The
right,
first
let's
one.
hear him. Rapid
The
fire.
first
Go,
one.
Go, 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 go.
Okay. All adversity I've had in my life, all troubles and obstacles have strengthened me. You may not realize it when it happens, but a kick in the teeth may be the best thing in the world for you. Our friend Walt Disney.
Oh, I thought that was going to be that guy from that.
I'm sure he
Skinhead
kicked plenty of people in the
with Edward
teeth.
Norton Jr.
He did. But that was only to motivate them. See,
Well,
now it
no,
all makes sense.
yeah,
We're putting
yeah,
everything in
yeah.
context because, like you said, everything is perception.
Well, and look at the
You used a
product.
different word, and now I
Look
can't
at the
even remember
product
what it is.
that
They
Disney
own
puts
the
out or put
fucking
out,
world.
You know,
First of
they
all,
do.
yes. I mean, who thought like driving around Anaheim, California? Like, God, I
$100
just
a
want to
ticket.
buy all this
Yeah.
farmland and turn it into a park.
Shout out to Anaheim and the city council. Of
Anaheim.
Thanks for
Yeah.
letting us film right
Anaheim,
now.
thanks for letting us
Beautiful.
film. We had a phenomenal
Beautiful
time in
streets.
Anaheim.
Oh, man.
Delicious pho restaurants.
Yeah, Anaheim. Ah.
All right, number two. Damaged people are dangerous. They know they can survive. Josephine Hart. Don't know who that is. All right, here's another one.
That's kind of a
Last
cool one. I really like that.
I like that one a lot. I'll read that again. Damaged people are dangerous. They know they can survive. And that's the truth. I can't even expand on that. The last one I have for you guys today, and this is by Ralph Waldo Emerson, poet, literary phenomenon.
Old RWE.
Old RWE.
Rui.
When it is dark enough, you can see the stars. Think about that one.
Dude,
like
that's a good silver linings one. That's a
It is a good one.
it
I
is
like
the
it.
ultimate silver linings quote, you know?
Oh.
Because
Yes, it's even better than the playbook.
Yeah.
Although,
Jennifer Lawrence is hot.
she really is. Yeah. So is Bradley Cooper.
Oh, Dreamboat.
Dreamboat.
Oh, you guys.
All right. Well, that's all we got for you guys today.
That's it.
Hit us up.
That's it.
Project X Reclamation at gmail.com. Go
That's
to our
it.
website, projectxreclamation.com.
Go do something
go
nice
to-
for other people today.
Go
Just
do
it.
something nice for other
Always.
people. Check out our YouTube channel. We'll link it, or we'll link everything to everything,
random
or
act
at
of
least we'll
kindness.
try because we're getting better at this, or at least we're trying to get better at this. But we did launch what we called Reclamations. And the RAK and Reclamation stands for Random Acts of Kindness. We are going to try and do these things daily, and we're going to videotape as much of it as we can. We're going to try and make a weekly video.
Open a door.
We
Open
might
a
just
door
start
for
coming back
someone.
and talking about it just because it's a little easier for right now.
Help an old lady cross the street. So yeah,
Give away your
go ahead and
parking
do
space.
that. Send us your stories. If you guys want to take video, send it in. We'll throw it into our video for the week.
Donate $1.
Donate. Do something. Go find some food in your pantry that you're not going to eat or that
Yeah,
you
take
don't
it to a
need
food
eat,
bank. That's really
and take
easy
it to
to
the
do.
food bank, or even just
Pick
put
up
it
a
in
piece
your
of
car.
trash.
And the next time you're at a stoplight and there's a homeless person, just give it to them.
Yeah.
Pick up a piece of trash.
Pick up a piece
You
of
may
trash.
need to give him the can opener then, though. I guess then too.
If it's a can that doesn't have a pop top, sure.
That's a good point.
Or, you can give them some adversity to overcome.
Here you go, buddy. You're welcome.
I'm sorry.
You'll thank me when you get that open.
I would venture to guess that any smart homeless people probably have access to a can opener. However, if you have an extra can opener, why don't you give them a can
Why
opener?
don't you give them a can opener? That
Yeah.
should be your adversity
There
too.
you go.
Is giving them that. Old,
Well,
you
just
go.
give them the
just
can opener because it will motivate them to find cans.
The adversity for you that
Exactly.
day is not just to give it away. You can do 2 in 1. Reclamation. Boom. Here's the can, and then here's the can.
Oh,
and then
here's a can, and he
then-
has that sad look on his face. You're like, but wait, there's more.
Yeah.
Here's a
But
can
wait.
opener.
Then yeah, your adversity for that day is to find a store that you can easily get the can opener. Boom. There you go. You've done 2
All
things
right.
Give
that
it.
day.
Give a man a cheeseburger, he'll eat for a day.
Yeah.
Give a man a can opener, and he'll be looking for cans to open.
For the rest of his life. I will end this with one of my favorite quotes. What the fuck is wrong with us? Thank you. Good morning, good evening, good night. Have a great week. We will talk to you guys soon.
Be good.
So what I believe you were trying to say is thank you.